Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. Today's tutorial involves a freebie, some inking, and even some stamping today, some coloring, etc. So the freebie, I just printed off one page because I used up them all. They're just this very plain background with these black and, well, can't say black and white, but black outlines of butterflies. Now there's actually 4 pages of these. 2 look the same, but the butterflies are on opposite sides because these are like over the page things. And so depending on what side of the page you want the butterfly to be on, etc. So I'll leave a link to that freebie. It'll be on my blog when I'll post it the same time I post this video. Now these are one of the things that I actually made at the retreat. And I've got a little jump on things just because the coloring does take a while. Now this is one of those that I have colored. And I think it turned out really beautiful. And then I used these to color it. Now, you could use anything you wanted, pencil, crayons, watercolors. You could paint it. You could do. However, and I actually even did one, and I didn't even color it. So you don't even really need to color it. I've also got a little tag shape. And while I got this in my hand, let's go ahead. This is just a really tiny punch. I think it's like 1/8 of an inch or something like that. So I'm just going to do that there, which I think is actually going to be too small. Let me just grab something else. I'm going to use this to just put a bigger hole. That one there is too small. Let's just okay, there we go. A little bit bigger hole. So once I've colored these, I don't cut it out, but here you can see how I trimmed around that butterfly. I'm just going to go ahead. I could use my trimmer for this, but I happen to not have it at the table here with me, so I am just going to trim it with the scissors. It'll be good enough. And as I said, this is one of the things I did at the retreat as well. I'm just going to clean that little bit off. Okay, now I got my ruler, I got my stylus, and I just want to, let's see, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That'll work. I've got a pencil here. I want to, I'm going to score it. Kind of right by the butterfly here. And I do want the score line to be even. That's kind of why I'm going to measure it. I don't own a scoreboard. I had one, but I gave it away because I just didn't use it enough, and I just usually measure and use my ruler. And let's fold this. So this is what I mean by, let's say this is our page. You'd put it over your page. But what if you wanted the butterfly on this page? Hence why I did these 2 different ways That way, you know, you'll have them on there. Now, the size of these, you could print them smaller. I don't want this tail quite as long as that, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. You could definitely round the corners on these. Let's just ink this up. Okay, I had a lot of fun at the retreat when I was there, and I'm just going to ink this whole thing. Now on this, I didn't print anything on the back. You could definitely print this on like a tea-dyed paper, cardstock. Paper wouldn't quite be thick enough, I don't think. But it all depends on your preference and how you're gonna do it. These I meant to have like an over-the-page thing with a paper clip holding it onto the page. So that was my intent with them. And I'm going to actually take these. I'm going to 3 craft sales with my sister this year. And I'm going to take these for people to buy for bookmarks. So there we have that. Now, we're going to do a stamp. I got this here stamp, which I kind of liked for this job. Don't know what the name of this stamp is or anything like that. And I'm just going to use Ground Espresso Archival ink for this. And don't want to get ink on my table. I am not a stamper. I rarely use my stamps, which I should use them more, but I don't. I want to stamp this right there, and I'm just going to push down for a second. That turned out pretty good. And my little tag here, it's going to ink up the end of the stamp. And I'm just going to put that on here. Push down for 10 seconds or so. Perfect. Okay, we're done with that and that for now. Okay, we can get rid of that. Now, I want to pick out the colors that I used. I think they're in this one. Or something that's going to be, I want something darker. Try this one. And now I'm just going to color in these spots. Now, everybody colors differently. So I'm just going to quickly do these. I'm not too worried about it being perfect. And this is just going to kind of blend it in with the rest of the little butterfly card here. And I'm going to color in these here. I do enjoy coloring. It's very relaxing. I used to do a lot of coloring books, like the adult coloring books, but I rarely ever do them. I still have some somewhere. I find, like in the evenings while I'm watching YouTube or a show or something, usually now I pull out my slow stitching and I do that. but I'm going to do these. You could do them different colors. It wouldn't matter. Not sure if I said, but I have no idea where that stamp came from. It's a problem. Sometimes I buy the things or I get them from people and I don't remember. I pride those people that, you know, they're showing a video. And, oh yeah, so-and-so sent me this. And I admire that they remember because I don't. Sometimes I do. It's the odd time. Okay, so there we have that. Let's put that crayon back in there. So now we have this here. Now you could put it on a page that way. You know, butterflies fly all different directions, right? I've got this here. Now this I do remember. This came, I think, from BB Crafts a number of years ago. And it's just like a jute twine stuff. I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it on about a ½ inch away from my fold. And I'm just going to tie it in a knot. I don't want it tight because I don't want it to rip into the paper and I don't want it to fold the paper up. So there is that. Now I'm going to take this tag. I might put a little grommet in there. I did put grommets in on my other ones, but I don't use my big crocodile for the small little grommets. I find it just bends them. And then I'm just going to put a little bow on here. I might put a little drop glue on the bow just so then it stops it from coming undone. Try to make the little loops even, and let's just cut this off there and there. And then all that I did was I got tons of paper clips, and just this one here is a little flower, and I'm just going to put that right on here just like that. And that's going to go with there. So there we have the little over the page butterfly. So then it's going to go on your page like so. I think they turned out really cute. I like them. And you know me, I don't do just one. Now this is the one I did that I did not color at all. So that could go that way. This one here was actually meant to go over the top of your page, but you could put it any way. And this one's got like a leaf on it. And then too, like you got all the inside for journaling. So here are some of the ones that I did at the retreats. The dangle was kind of a last minute thing. I thought, well, you need a paper clip, so let's just do that with a dangle. I have tons of dangles. There is, I think, 3 or 4 styles of butterflies in the freebie. So make sure you go check out the links below and go and grab that. I like how they turned out. See, and this is a good example of going over the page if you're doing it sideways. Tried to do a nice variety of colors with this project and any of the projects that I do like this. If you're interested and you live in Canada and you want to purchase any of these, just message me, let me know. Love this one, of course, because it's purple. And this was actually my prototype. I just used a scrap piece of paper. This was the prototype I did. I always do a prototype before the retreat so I can make sure everything's going to work and then I can take the stuff I need. So then I'll sit down and say, okay, oh, I need the paper, I need this, I need that. And then I make a pile and that goes into my scrapbook project. But there we have that little tutorial. Hope you liked it. Check out the freebies on my blog. There's tons of freebies there. And there's a couple links to a couple Facebook groups, the creative, something about freebies, and that Kim Newberg and I started that just freebies for us. So check out that link. Check out my other Facebook group, my shops, all the stuff on the blog, etc., etc. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.